Here with Gavin Macpherson, post-Christmas, a few days away from Hendon here at Emma Court. Of course, it's been a while since I've last spoken to you. Recently, start with some unfortunate news, deaths of Joyce Curtis and Cliff Travis. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I knew both of them really well. It's always sad when you get someone. Both have been good servants to the club in different ways. You know, Cliff has been on the committee for many, many years, and I've known Cliff for a long time. And haven't seen him in a while since he's moved away, but never far from our thoughts, and generally really good guy, really positive, really supportive. And it's very sad that Cliff has passed away. My thoughts are very much with the family. As the same with Joyce Curtis. You know, Joyce supported the club probably as long as I can remember. Certainly came through when Jim was manager, and has continued on and seen some health problems in recent years. And I did speak to John a few weeks ago in respect of Joyce and her passing, and again a really sad thing to be talking about. She'll be fondly remembered. She was a really colourful character, someone that was always in the bar and always give you a hug, win, lose or draw. So yeah, a really sad passing, but certainly remember both of them with great fondness.
And in terms of updates of first team squad, we've had a new addition in Lewis Pegg, centre back from Binfield. Your thoughts on bringing him to the club?
So Lewis, I'm really excited with Lewis. He's somebody that I've been monitoring for a little while. I was aware of his links with Slough and certainly the move to Binfield that we had. Obviously we had Matt Hall, who moved to Slough, ironically, and Hawley was... So I just felt it was the right time, really, for us to see if Lewis would want to come over, and he was doing really well at Binfield. And in respect of it, you're never sure. You know, he might think that that's where his destiny lies for the time being, but he wants to make the step up. Unfortunately, since we've signed him, we've only had one game, and I felt that he started on the bench for us on that game, just because I felt that Harry and Bernie had done well enough in the half against Hayes and Yedding to actually maintain their places in the side. But they've got competition. They've got competition now. They've got really good competition. He's someone that I really like as a player. He's a good sort of professional lad, and so he's a very welcome addition to the squad, without a doubt.
As you said, we were in action a few days ago, away at Harrowborough, 2-0 win for your side. Was you pleased with that win?
Yeah, I've got to be honest. I think that we, in respect of the game, look, I want to pay a little bit of tribute to Steve Baker and his side. I think that's one of the best Harrow sides that I've seen in a long time. And Steve had a really difficult start to the season, and he's sort of reprogrammed in respect of what they've done at Harrow. I had a good chat with him on Boxing Day, and he's gone again, and he's gone with players that look hungry and look ready to battle for him, and full of pace and full of work, and a really difficult fixture, really difficult fixture. Always is when you go to Harrow, always is. And I felt that at half time we were probably fortunate to be at 0-0. There was some really good work by us in the first half, but equally, they probably count themselves unlucky not to have scored. And I just felt that what we'd set out to do wasn't working. So what we actually ended up doing was I made a tweak at half time. Made a tweak in relation to the system. Didn't change any personnel, but made a tweak in relation to the system. And we looked a lot better in the second half, and effectively we were a decent outfit in the second half. I felt we were clinical when it came. We were, I felt, in control largely in the second half. But Harrow still caused us problems. So I think it's a really good win. I think it's a really good win, and as I say, I must got to pay testament to Steve and what he's done over there, because it wasn't looking after sort of 4 or 5 weeks. It wasn't the easiest task in the world.
And in a few days' time, we host Hendon here at Emma Court. Your thoughts going into that game?
Proper side, proper players, proper management team. I think Lee is someone I'm very fond of and speak to quite a lot. I think with the influence of Ian coming in as well to add to an already good management team there, I think things will only look up for them. I look at them and I think, and I've looked at them all season, and I've thought to myself that they are a team. When you look at them on paper, and they are a management team and a club that I felt was going to do really, really well this season. And I don't necessarily think otherwise at the moment. I think looking at where they are in the league at the moment is false, and I think that we've got a really tough fixture on our hands in respect of our next game. So I'll always ask the players not to look at league positions. I did with Harrow. I will do with Hendon, because they're a task. They're a different task to Harrow, but they're certainly a task that we've got to be focused on, and we'll look to do that.
And finally, we're halfway through a season now. I think we currently sit 11th in the league, a few games in hand. What are your goals for the rest of the season now? How are your assessment of the season so far?
I think from our point of view, we are. I'm looking at the season as a whole, and I think from my point of view, this has been a big transition. And I've mentioned this before to you, that so many people told me that this was going to be our hardest season yet. This was going to be a really difficult one, and so it might prove. So in respect of where we are now, I'm delighted. I'm absolutely delighted, because to lose 9, I think it was in the summer, and we've spoken about it before, to recapture a couple of them and come back, to promote through the pathway again, 4 or 5 of them, and to be sitting where we are, as you mentioned, with a couple of games in hand, not far off the playoffs, although it's a very tight league, let's be honest about it. I can only be delighted. It's testament to my management team, without a doubt. It's certainly testament to the players, because there's a lot of players making the hardest transition in football, and that is to move from like an under-18 system and sort of in the 23s up to a first team level. There is quite a difference in that. So I'm delighted. What for me at the moment, and for me and the rest of the guys on the management team, is how we can actually obtain that consistency. Because if we can get a degree of consistency, then we may have a say in things. If we don't get a degree of consistency, then our league position probably gives that away at the moment. Because we can go to Harrow and win, which is a difficult game, but we can lose at home to Yate, and no disrespect to them, it's a home game that we'll be looking to win. So that's for us to work out now. That's really for us to work out. And I think January is going to be really crucial to our league season. We're seeing some really big hitters in the league, Westerns and Truros and Cheshams and Bracknells, people like that who are, have every right to assume that they're going to be at the top of the league. And I think for us, it's a case of going quietly about our business again, quietly about what we want to do, and let's just see where we end up. Nobody, I suppose outside our dressing room has given us much of a thought this season, and I don't mind it that way. I really don't mind it that way. We'll just work hard as we normally do, and see where it gets us.